Suzuki's first EV, the Vitara, is a careful take on what a fashionable B-segment small electric SUV should be. It emphasises value and the shared Toyota engineering is thorough, but segment competition is fierce. My name is Jonathan Crouch. I've been testing cars for over 40 years. You'll find them all on the Car and Driving Car Reviews app. Here, I'm going to try and tell you everything that you really need to know about this car in a way you'll find nowhere else. Bolted to the Vitara's new Hartec E platform is a choice of two BYD-sourced batteries of either 49 kWh or 61 kWh in size. The smaller pack is mated to a 142 bhp motor, while the larger pack energises a 172 bhp motor. 0 to 62 miles an hour takes 9.6 seconds with the smaller battery, or 8.7 seconds with the larger one, en route to the modest 93 mile an hour top speed all Vitaras share. In both cases, drive comes from the front, but if you opt for the larger battery, you'll be offered the option of the top four-wheel drive variant we're trying here, which gains an extra 64 bhp rear axle motor as part of what's called an all-grip E system. Total output with all-wheel drive is 181 bhp with 310 Nm of torque. Across the lineup, driving range isn't anything to write home about, limited somewhat by the weight of the Hartec platform. Vitara models tip the scales at anything between 1,702 kg and nearly 1,900 kg, which is pretty heavy for the size of car this is. As a result, even the bigger battery model can only do 263 miles between charges or 245 miles in this twin-motor all-grip E form. Expect 213 miles from the base 49 kWh version. You can maximise all these figures by maximising stronger regenerative braking with low, medium and high regeneration boost settings via a centre screen button, and by activating the most frugal of the drive modes, Eco. The others are Normal and Sport. Like the EVX concept car that inspired it, the Vitara has a more overtly SUV look than most of its segment competitors, with plenty of crossover-y black cladding on the lower sills and between squared-off wheel arches that house large aero-styled 18-inch alloy rims. Size-wise, at 4,275mm in length, it's similarly sized to its many B-segment rivals, but is 100mm longer than the current combustion Vitara. Inside, you're greeted by an awful lot of shiny black plastic, especially around this high floating centre console, with its circular Toyota BZ4X sourced gear selector. Through the curiously shaped flat-bottomed two-spoke wheel, you view a 10.25-inch digital driver's display. This display is situated in the same panel as the 10.1-inch central infotainment screen, high on the dashboard. Once you enter the rear, via concealed C-pillar door handles, you'll appreciate the fact that the Hartec E platform this car sits on has been designed to maximise interior space, hence the relatively lengthy 2,700mm wheelbase length. This means decent rear seat legroom by class standards, which can be improved by a sliding rear bench that moves over 20 centimetres back and forth. The backrest reclines too. Not so good is the height of the cabin floor, which might be an issue for taller adults over longer journeys. The high floor rather restricts boot space, which varies between 238 and 306 litres depending on the position of the sliding rear bench. As for battery replenishment, well, the brand says that the Vitara can charge at up to 150 kilowatts, which is reasonably class competitive, but the 45-minute 15 to 80% DC charging figure for both batteries isn't particularly noteworthy. At home, an AC charge from a typical 7.4 kilowatt single-phase wall box needs 6 hours 30 minutes with the 49 kilowatt-hour battery, or 9 hours with the 61 kilowatt-hour pack. If you have a three-phase 11 kilowatt supply, you can add around 36 miles of range for every hour of charging and thereby improve those figures to 4 hours 30 minutes with the 49 kilowatt-hour battery or 5 hours 30 minutes with the 61 kilowatt-hour pack. Suzuki calls this Vitara a milestone. It certainly proves that the brand is still capable of playing a major part in producing a class-competitive all-new volume segment model. But if the company takes as long to produce new EVs in other market segments, it's going to have difficulties in Europe. A market currently saturated with cars in the Vitara's crowded segment for compact crossover models. Some of them with greater EV range and cabin space than is provided here. Still, this Suzuki's as fashionable as most will want, and the brand has taken its time with Toyota in producing what looks like a proven piece of engineering. Add in the merits of an eager-to-please dealer network, and we can see why you might think that this contender's worth a look.